Comment Force 59. And we don't even have a pun for you. What's going on, everybody? It's Active Switch Force. Gabe is here. Big thanks to everyone for 58 great episodes of your comments, your thoughts, your theories, your insights, your ideas, and let's get one more. This is the 59th. We're almost 60. The wrinkles are setting. The gray is ever present, and it has been a very weird week.
Zach, I'm finding more and more gray hair all over me every single day.
I don't understand that. I feel like I have a lot of stress, and I have dated girls that had that issue. I've had friend cores that have had that issue.
Friend cores.
I am just blessed with color, I guess.
You have a couple gray hairs. I've seen.
No,
them.
I do not.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I've seen them on your head.
No, you have not.
All right. We'll move on from that. But yeah, I get more and more gray hair. I think it's the way that we handle stress. I think my stress is much more internal, and yours is much more external. You let your stress out in a multitude of ways, right? Ways that we won't get into here.
Well,
I don't.
This is not like beating people up, by the way. This is like getting a massage. Just
massage and therapy, just very important things that I wish I could do. But a lot of my stress, it's inward and it has to stay there because I have no other option.
Swallow it and send it to your head.
Yeah, well, not just my head; it's also my chest. I have a lot of gray chest hair now. I was like, whoa. When did this happen?
Last week we're talking about jeans and sweats, and this week we're talking about chest hair. So
very slowly, this is turning into the show that we've always wanted it to be, which is just
par
about
for the course. Let's take the stress and put it somewhere else, which is into some comment reading, and we're gonna get right into it with G-Man, straight off the train to City 17. Says, the Joy-Con are hiding with the games. My point is there aren't enough new games to produce new Joy-Cons with. Only exception here is Kirby, which should have gotten a nice set of pink Joy-Cons. William says, well, we already have the neon pink Joy-Cons, so maybe that's why, in reference to Kirby. And Gabe, I wanted to just ask if you have any comprehension of what Nintendo's mindset with Joy-Con is, because it's not about the biggest games. It's not even maybe about what colors exist. It seems very scattershot, but I want to see if you and your just unending wisdom of grayness could help try and put some sort of thought to their theory.
No, I can't. But
okay,
I will say this: Smash is gonna get a custom something. I don't know if it's Joy-Con, don't know if it's Pro Controller, something. I feel the same with Pokemon. I think the things that are like that big are gonna get things, except Zelda, because Zelda was like a launch game. Mario got some stuff. Splatoon got Joy-Con.
I mean, Mario got the console bundle that came with the dark red.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it didn't get a standalone anything.
Sure, but it feels like with most of their big franchises, they want to do something, right? Do
they though? Mario Kart, nothing. Kirby, nothing.
No Kirby, sure. Kirby's the only one. The other ones are ports, so I don't think for a port they're going to do anything. But I sure as heck think if a new Mario Kart comes, I think they do something.
Yeah, I guess this fall then will be interesting to see the first iteration of Yoshi on Switch, the first iteration of, I guess, like
Smash.
Normal Fire Emblem, Smash, Pokemon, potentially, maybe something else. So maybe that will sort of establish what they're doing. But right now it feels to me very sporadic in that, I don't know, like I guess I wish I knew what their basis was. Is it on like the game and the popularity? Is it on what colors already exist? So like William here is suggesting that they didn't do it with Kirby, maybe because they already had pink from Splatoon 2. So does that even factor in, or would they have done a muted pink or like a pastel? I don't know. Are they only allowed to do neon? Was the Mario thing a glitch in the system? Like,
wait, what does that mean? Are they only allowed to? Like they do what they want. Like who's gonna stop
I know, but
them?
I'm saying they've only put out standalone neon Joy-Con.
Yeah,
yellow, pink.
Well,
green.
I just didn't know what you mean by like allowed. Like I mean,
well, from their mentality, like they only want the system to. I don't know. I just find it weird that my Pro Controllers are Splatoon 2, which, by all means, is one of the greatest games on the system, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Maybe it has to have a 2 in it, Gabe.
Okay.
Well, then we're not getting any Pro Controllers this year.
All right.
If anyone can uncover the mystery of how Nintendo determines their pros and joys, I will give you $1 million.
Not true. Kid Keys 1000 says, having a Switch is stressful because it has so much potential, but there is nothing to play. Kid Keys. Have you played all of Breath of the Wild? Have you played all of Super Mario Odyssey? Are you completely done with Splatoon? Are you completely done with Celeste and Golf Story and SteamWorld Dig 2 and Retro City Rampage? I can go on for forever, honestly. There's so much to play. I don't recognize, like, what are you talking about is my real question.
Triple A space-wise, I can see what he's saying.
Not what he said.
But if he is a gamer that doesn't really want to dip toes in indie waters, then I see it AAA. I think it's just interesting because, like, again, like, there's so many different ways of viewing this, right? The Switch is proliferating games on a greater scale on a more frequent basis than any Nintendo system ever. But yet there's a lot of thought out there that this system has nothing to play and so much potential.
Go play Bayonetta 1+2. Go play Donkey Kong. Go play South Park. Even that's like a quality like experience. I mean, South Park might not be for everybody. And
do you think there's not enough variety?
I think there's good variety. Not great.
But do you think there's not enough?
No, I do not think that. Go play Doom. Go play Skyrim. There's a lot of variety. So many of these things that I'm mentioning are not like any of the other ones. LA Noire, right? It's another.
Just to play devil's advocate, if you, let's say you're not into like the downloadable games, unless you want to play repeats, like you're basically playing Nintendo titles.
So that's not unusual for Nintendo systems.
It's not. But that, I think, is where this thought that...
So then my advice is stop limiting yourself, right? There's some truly amazing experiences you can have if you just play some indies. Like, Celeste is a very touching and really fun-filled experience. It offers challenge. It offers a very unique and cool story. Go play things like Oxenfree. Like, don't limit yourself. No one's, like, making you not be able to play indie games. Plus,
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the advice I would give. I feel like there is a lot to play. Sure, triple A-wise, yeah, I get it. But broaden your horizons a little bit would be my advice.
And my advice isn't for you, it's for Nintendo. I go back to something I mentioned a number of months or weeks back. I think if there was clarity in the calendar, this would not feel this way. I really do. But
yeah.
Hey, E3 is next month, Kid Keys. Maybe your stress will perish with a perfect presentation. Speaking of that perfect presentation, Monkey Agent says Yoshi will not be a part of the presentation. He committed tax fraud. So, unfortunately, he's not going to be involved in E3 2018. He is on the ropes.
Okay.
So... just
do you know where that originated from? Like, I know what it is. Like, it's funny, but like, how did that start? Do you know?
No idea.
Okay.
I think it's maybe an explanation for why Yoshi has been dormant and not part of any.
Yeah, but why tax fraud?
I mean, it was April recently. I just thought it was good to inform the people that he's not going to be there.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Darksiders are not going to be at E3 because of the World Cup, and Yoshi's not going to be there because of tax fraud. So,
all right.
Important to know.
Stranger Danger says, you forgot about one thing. They will obviously give us some information on Metroid Prime 4. It is the same as Yoshi in that it was revealed in E3 last year, but has remained dormant for a whole year. Nintendo needs to show a trailer that isn't just a teaser trailer that shows a logo, or at least talk about the game that people have waited a decade for. I don't think they have to talk about Metroid Prime at all.
You don't think they talk about Pokemon either, so you said two things.
Sure. No, Metroid by all accounts isn't coming out this year, and they said that this is going to be focused on 2018 games, so this isn't the time to talk about Metroid. You talk about that another time.
I do find it like incredibly weird that like teaser trailer at E3 2017, no mention in E3 2018, blowout E3 2019, like that just seems like such a strange cycle. And so initially I had the exact same thought as you. Of like, I don't think it's going to be there at all. And I said as much in our E3 prediction, or our sort of like what's for sure going to be there. But like when I thought about it from Stranger Danger's point of view, and this idea that they would just like have a gap year, like that seems even weirder to me.
Okay, it's not going to be an exact parallel, but follow me here. They've done something similar with Zelda on Wii U. Right, and circumstances made that a little bit different, right? The Wii U was on its way out, Switch was coming in, and there had to be like the shift. But they did show us a Zelda quote unquote trailer that like never came to fruition. Like that was a thing.
Yeah, and if I thought in any way Metroid would get canned, then I would go with that. But like, look at how they start talking about Breath of the Wild. They didn't take a year off.
Sure, but and also on the same but also different breath, other companies do this all the time. Like, hey, shout out to the agent. Where like that was like showing, and that game by all accounts is not ever happening. And
Right, but let's be clear. We don't. Neither of us think that this game is never happening, though.
no,
right?
I think this game is coming out like the first half of next year. I do not think it's a fall next year game. I think it's an early half next year game. So I think I don't know if it's January. I don't know if it's like December. At some point, we will hear about Metroid, and they'll have like a direct, and it'll be amazing. Metroid is not getting canceled. It's 100% coming out, just not this year. And since they're focusing on this year for E3, I think that's why they don't show it.
I'm gonna go with the theory that they're actually just bad at their freaking grammar, and they're gonna talk about some 2019 stuff. I really think Metroid is gonna be there now, and I don't think it's coming out this year. But
you think that Metroid Prime 4 will be at E3 in some fashion, even if it's just a trailer?
yes,
I wish we could do like some type of like fun bet.
we should do a bingo board.
No, I'm just talking for me and you because we're like complete opposite on this.
Yeah, we make a bingo board with our predictions and see who gets the most.
No, I know that's
right.
separate from this. I just want to make a bet about this specific.
on Metroid.
Yeah, on Metroid. This one specific thing. Can you think of something fun very quickly or no?
I mean, our bet last year didn't work out very well.
No, but something fun that we can like do for like the channel, I guess. We'll come back to you guys on that.
Right.
But I do want to make that bet with you because I think that Metroid Prime is not at E3 at all. I could be wrong.
I just think it would be so awkward if it just wasn't there. And I don't think that's something you can be like, hey, remember Metroid? It's the treehouse. We're showing a new trailer. Like, I think that's
not like a direct at some other point. I don't know why you would go with the treehouse, but okay. Regardless.
I'm just saying, like, saying like Metroid is just like at E3 2017, not 2018, and again it like.
Well, remember, I'm saying that there's a chance that Metroid comes out before E3 2019.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just gonna skip E3 this year, and then they'll talk about it at some point. And
Which like what?
Okay, all right.
Infernal Tim 1 says, in my case, I own a Switch and a 3DS. I love both them for different reasons. I've taken both of them with me on the go depending on what I'm playing at the time. I also have a 9-year-old little girl that I bought one of the 2DS bundles for because I'm comfortable spending $80 on a smaller, durable system for a kid rather than $300 for a Switch she'll inevitably break. Inevitably?
Yeah, go on, read.
The 2DS has survived multiple falls on the hardwood floor from her, which I never trust a Switch to do. Okay, I have to stop there. I think the Switch would be fine, but anyways. While I understand the theory of they should focus all resources on the Switch, that cuts out an entire gaming demographic that aren't getting a Switch anytime soon. The DS series is a cash cow for Nintendo that parents are comfortable giving their kids with, the added bonus of a tremendous library that older gamers can appreciate as well. And we had a lot of sentiments about this on our, like the real reason 3DS exists, about people that, like, really are glad that 3DS is continuing. In spite of not having like a full calendar of games, they're glad that there's support there. And I do see Infernal Tim's point of like it does definitely fill a gap, and that's basically what Kimishima was saying of like the existence of the 3DS, or in this case the 2DS, is to be that system that can appeal to the younger gamer, that can appeal to a one per household gamer. I guess like my thing is like, if you stop making games for it and devoting resources, does that change any of this?
Well, I mean, the games are all still there, right? So, I mean, there's
so I guess that's. I was just thinking of it previously before we made that video. I was thinking of it like either it's an on or off, but like, isn't there the option of like all the things that Tim is saying and the other people are saying still applying even if you aren't devoting resources to it, or is the trickle feed of new 3DS games somehow doing so much to keep this system at the forefront? Like, does Luigi's Mansion Remake and WarioWare and 2019 Bowser's Inside Story, is that what's motivating 3DS sales and playtime, or is it the already existing library that would still exist even if they didn't? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, but frankly, I don't care to chime in here just because I'm not a 3DS owner. I don't know what it's like. I don't have children. I don't like. I'm so far removed from this very good point that and Tim here is saying, like, I can't relate to it in any way. Like, I see exactly what he means, and yeah, 100%, sure. It's just I'm so far removed, like Gabe. So I'm like, nah. Like, I'm being selfish when I say I want everything on 3DS, but it's okay.
You mean on Switch?
Yes, excuse me. Yeah, like I would love like Luigi's Mansion on Switch. I would love Bowser's Inside Story on Switch. Like I wish it was happening. I see why it's not. And I mean, you're right. This does fill in a gap that Nintendo needs filled. But I will say, I don't know how much of a cash cow it is. I will say that. Like, I mean, they're still selling quite well. So like, I guess because they're probably pretty cheap to make at this point.
I guess my thing is just like, okay, if Luigi's Mansion comes to Switch instead of 3DS, is all of a sudden the 3DS scene dead? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I totally agree with the point made here. And yeah, I'm not in that demographic either. I don't have a little kid. I'm not unable to play my Switch on my commute or whatever. Or I guess I just think, like, couldn't the 3DS still have that exact same spot?
Without taking up resources is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so is Luigi's Mansion the reason that you're buying this for your daughter? Or, like, even if there was nothing on the horizon, wouldn't the 3DS still be an incredible platform?
Yeah.
It's just it's a different way of looking at it. Thanks, Tim, for making me think.
Rombolus.
Oh God, this is what I've been waiting for. Here we go.
Next time, you guys ought to specify whether the titles are indie games and which are some of the big stuff in a title. This kind of vagueness is driving people away.
Okay, so.
All right, we got you. Huh?
I said buckle up.
Oh, okay. I heard something else.
Okay, couple things here, and I don't like addressing this normally, but
whatever.
Okay, so we're referencing the videos that are like about 7 new Switch games announced, and I want to make a couple points here.
Every Thursday, by the way.
Every Thursday, it very much feels like a darned if you do, darned if you don't type situation. Because look, let's get some real basic things out of the way. We do not control what Nintendo announces or what companies announce. If Nintendo has a bad E3 and we cover their lackluster E3, like, all we can do is cover what we're given, right? We can't. If say there's nothing exciting, say the fall lineup is Yoshi, like, sucks to suck, but that's not our fault. And so I feel like getting blasted for like these games not being AAA or not being major isn't very fair. Now, the part of that it's misleading or somehow. Okay, so again, this is where it sort of feels like there's a no-win because we have done the thing of like, hey, these games don't seem that great, but hey, we want to make you aware, and then people are like, what? You haven't played them? And then if we say, hey, these games actually do look kind of cool, and in the case of this specific video, Romulus, we do think Ikaruga, FIFA World Cup mode, and a few of the others, Lumines, do look cool, and in the case of Lumines and Ikaruga are widely regarded as very fun games. Then we're getting feedback that, oh, these are crappy. Why didn't you let us know that they were crappy? I thought they would be major. And to that point, like, guys, there will never be a case where we have 8 new games announced and they're like Halo and God of War and Mario. Like, that's never going to happen. If there was anything of that major level, you wouldn't be hearing it from us first. And it would not be all at once. And there would be a direct, or there would be an E3, or there would be a dedicated video. So, like, to be so, like, I don't know where this comes from. If it just comes from like the greater state of media and the internet right now, but like that, our title should be a paragraph of these are 8 games that some people may find fun, but they're really not that exciting. If you were looking for something AAA, there were no major announcements or directs this week, so these are minor project. Like, we can't say that, guys. Like, that doesn't work.
For anyone that doesn't know, there is a character limit to how many characters you can put in a title.
And just, we're not going to do that. Like, that's just dumb.
Yeah.
Think about, like, ESPN. They don't say, like, if it said, like, Lions feast on Packers, it's not like Lions beat Packers barely, and it was at one point a blowout, but they brought it back at the end because Aaron Rodgers threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, but also Matthew Stafford got injured, so it's like, I don't understand the expectations here.
I mean, you touched on it, right? We're darned if we do, darned if we don't, right? People complain about something no matter what. Like, I mean, to be 100% candid, what was it, last week, the week before, when we did the blank amount of dull games, like we said, like, hey, like, people are always like to ourselves, me and Zach in conversation when getting the content ready, we said, hey, like, people are always saying like the games like are like not great, and these kind of seem like they're not that exciting. So let's just say they're dull in the title. Maybe people will be happy with that. We did that, and then people come along and, oh, how dare you guys say they're dull? Like, these could be really cool. I'm like, what?
People worked on these and blah blah blah. Like,
yeah, where were y'all last week when you were complaining that we weren't like saying that these were like kind of like meh? So by that account, I understand we can't please everybody. People are going to complain no matter what. Like, I don't know if these people understand like the semantics of like uploading to YouTube and what that means. And again, Zach touched on it, right? But we are not the ones making these announcements. We are reporting on the games that were announced throughout the week and telling you guys all about them every single Thursday. That is the only job of that series now. Hey, like, these games are getting announced. This is what they are. And someone said this, and yeah, I don't know if like having like a name for the series would like fix this, but at a certain point, you're gonna run out of words. Like, so
at a certain point, if you have watched 10 of these every Thursday for the last 10 weeks, and they're not delivering 8 AAA first-party games, what are you expecting? It's never gonna happen. There will never be a 7 new games or 6 new games for Switch that is like the best franchise ever. That will never happen. The videos have never been that, and they won't be that. I don't understand how that's like. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a 2018 culture thing, but like, how are you going into that video? Someone said like the thumbnail made them think they were AAA. The thumbnail is always a artistic interpretation of the Switch that says 8 new Switch games
or 7, whatever. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and that's why I try not. I don't. Zach obviously took this much more personally than I did. Like, I recognize what it is. It's a certain type of person saying stuff in YouTube comments. I tend to brush it away, but you know, we'd be lying if we said it didn't get to us sometimes, because we're just like reporting on the games that were announced. And
well, and then there's this whole faction of people that say like, oh, you're just starving for content, so you're covering things that don't deserve coverage. Well, again, it's a darn if you do, darn if you don't, because it's like, okay, yes, there's no major announcements, right? So we're covering some of these smaller announcements, and people are like, why are you covering them? And then we go and make videos that are more speculative or more about our personal experience. Like, why are you doing this? There's nothing to talk about. Like, again, and maybe it's just like internet culture that somehow I feel our community is above. I know there's so many like great, nice, smart people in this Switch Force community and in the Nintendo community in general. Like, I guess I expect more. And just like us talking about like, oh, we really think this is going to be at E3, or we hope this is at E3, isn't us like grasping for straws and starving for content. And on the same coin but other side, us saying, hey, we'd love more Joy-Con, or we really think Nintendo really needs to do a better job bringing third-party day and date, isn't us complaining and grasping for content. Like, at some level, guys, every single person that on YouTube is grasping for content. None of these videos ever have to be made. So our video about wanting more Joy-Con, or our video about Donkey Kong and is it worth buying, like, all of that is grasping at content at some level. So, like, I don't know. I found the feedback sad this week, and I wanted to address it in some capacity. And I'm not trying to say, like, oh, woe is me. Like, tell us we're good. I don't need or want that. I just wanted to, like, at least get out there that, like, man, we're trying our best to have a mix of news-based coverage and original content.
I mean, and another thing, at this point, I try not to pay that much attention to it. Like, we're not the only channel that's going to do E3 coverage for Nintendo, right? Like, people are going to do, like, rumor and speculation. Like, that's a thing that channels do. Like, if you don't like it, Nintendo YouTube might not be the place for you. Like, then you have to look at yourself at that point. But yeah, like, leading up to E3, we're very excited about it, and we're going to continue to talk about it. Like, that's a very big thing happening in the world of Switch. So, I don't know. Hopefully, more of you like it than you leave. Yeah, it's a vocal minority. And
here's my thing. Like, I'm not against constructive criticism in any way. I, like, welcome that, and I try to look for patterns. The problem is, more often than not, I see no pattern, and that's where the darn if you do, darn if you don't comes in. Because if I saw a pattern of, like, hey, like, any pattern, I guess I could have a more productive reaction to it. But when it's like, hey, stop talking about these small issues, then we make original content that we think is interesting. Stop talking about your own ideas. Focus on what Nintendo, like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, the horse is long gone now. Zach, we can move on.
This gave me a lot of stress this week. John K says, I like this comment. This is in reference to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I 100% agree with Zach's opinion on HD Rumble. Some games do it very well, like Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, and Mario Odyssey. Others make me legitimately wonder if my Switch was defective. For games like Azure Striker, Gunvolt, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Golf Story, and I'll add DKC Tropical Freeze, the Rumble in handheld can be so loud, harsh, and abrasive that it takes away from the experience for me, and I find myself turning Rumble off for many games I play handheld. I wish they were designed to drop to 50% of the max strength when connected to the console. I also think this is an issue that we'll see improvement as developers become more familiar with the hardware and how to utilize the HD Rumble technology. DKC Trouble Freeze has this really harsh rumble that's supposed to add to the game, and in fact, it's my least favorite thing about the release. But I do like his point here about that, like, there probably needs to be programmed in a different level when they're connected or not, because like the vibration from being attached to the system amplifies this tremendously, I think.
Yeah, I might be weird. Like, I don't ever get bothered by like Rumble. It's just like such like a secondary thing. I never focus on it. Yeah, it's so weird that this like bothers you so much.
It like grates on me, and I'm not even one that's bothered by like chalkboard, like that kind of stuff. Like, doesn't bother me, but like that's how I feel about this. Like, it grates on me in that way.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never been bothered by HD Rumble in anything. I've yet to play Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I do wonder if when you play that, like, ooh, yeah. it's much. Yeah, more Donkey Kong. This is a good one.
The Hitman and Her, good name. Just got it today. Graphics, sound, music, charm, polish, performance, all 10 out of 10. You must ask yourself if the concept of platformers and collectathons are really what you enjoy in 2018. For me, I find it more frustrating than enjoying the funky mode is pointless, boring, and unrewarding. Going forward, I wish Nintendo would introduce more RPG-like elements into their games rather than collecting things for no reason. Even Mario Kart has RPG-like elements. Unlock trees, etc. Show less. Sorry if I turned into Ron Burgundy there for a second.
You did.
Wait, Mario Kart has RPG. You mean stats? Is that what it's talking about? Because I'm confused.
Yeah, he's saying like that you can unlock different carts and you can upgrade your vehicle in theory based on different stats and whatnot.
Those are RPG. I guess.
I guess what he's saying is like, at some level, yes, Nintendo often uses. Be careful how I say this. Gameplay systems that originated a long time ago, and they are not the company that embraces some of the design philosophies that are littered throughout games in this modern era. And I fully agree with you there. So I think this idea that like, hey, the game is grand, but is it tickling your receptors in the way that some other 2018 titles do? And yeah, from that standpoint, no, it is a far simpler and one could argue more pure experience. And we've talked about this in terms of storytelling and things. I do wish Nintendo would look around the industry a little bit and incorporate more. But I will caution that by saying part of the reason they are so successful and they are so defined is because they don't do that. Yeah. And so it's almost like a catch-22 of like, everyone's stuck in these darn if you do, darn if you don't. Like, if they go more mainstream, they lose a little bit of their luster, and if they stick with what they know, they are not doing what everyone else, likes to do.
Yeah. My saving grace when it comes to things like this is I don't play these games that often.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not as bad, but I completely see your point though.
Yeah, and I think, Nintendo has, like you mentioned with Mario Kart, like they've tried to incorporate more of that. To me, it's one of those instances where like halfway feels a little odd. So maybe like, I'm not using Mario Kart as an example, but like say DK had like some leveling up. I don't know if that detracts from the experiences or enhances the experience, but I would absolutely love to see Nintendo with a new IP try to tackle like a game in the way that a game would be made as a PS4 exclusive.
That would be we've talked about that, and that would be the most interesting thing Nintendo could do.
And I would say that Breath of the Wild is probably the closest to that.
Yeah, it is.
And it was very successful. So maybe in the future, 2, 3, 4 years down the line, when games that that could, that the success of that could directly impact our unveil. Maybe we'll see more of that. I don't know if then at that point we're like, well, the rest of the world is done with RPG, so it feels stupid that Nintendo is now onto these more open world RPG. It might be a case of always behind, but no, I totally get it. Like, I appreciate your presence of mind to realize that this is a great game. Maybe it's not for you. It doesn't, hit on the same nodes that some of the other 2018 titles do, and I would love to see Nintendo try. All right, last one from Shiny Wormbolt Revived. Zach and Gabe, question for the next comment for us. You win. Do you guys think that there will be another Nintendo Direct before E3, or are they saving up all that news for their E3 spotlight? Anything Nintendo between now and June, whatever it is, 11th, 10th?
Yes, but not a Direct.
Okay.
Then we get like small announcements, and Bill said as much. So I'm still waiting for this month for some stuff to be talked about. We know the website's going to be updated with the online details, or some details at least. So we get something. Just definitely no Direct.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think they will hold true to those details on the online. I don't know if any games are announced before E3.
No, I don't think so.
At least not from Nintendo. I definitely think you'll see some third parties put some stuff out that don't want to get lost in the cycle of E3 and just sort of like the insanity that is that week. So more and more frequently in the recent years, we have seen games that get announced in May or announced early because they want to beat that cycle and try to have their own moment. So I could definitely see that happening for Switch, just not from... I think whatever Nintendo's got the rest of the year is locked in a box until that presentation.
Yeah, I agree.
And now I'm going to lock Gabe in a box because his playtime is over. And
my favorite part of the week. I love being in that box.
Wrap this show up. We'll unlock the box next Saturday. In the meantime, thanks so much for all of your comments, your questions, your ideas, your thoughts, your theories. And look, we know that 98% of you are really great, and we appreciate you. And we hope the 2% of you can become great too.
The other 2% of you are just very loud.
Maybe not likely, but hopeful. And with that kind of hope, let's move to advice.
All right. I'll go first today. Just don't live life without knowing where you're going. Have some type of goal in mind. And whatever that goal is, make sure it's what you actually want. I've been going through some stuff, Zach, where I don't necessarily know. Like, hey, what am I doing? Like, I don't always know. So that's my goal right now, to try to figure out what I want so I can actually make proactive steps towards that. Because if you just think you want something, it's much easier to take side steps. Yeah. Because you're like, hey, I'm not 100% sure I actually want that. So figure out in yourself what you want out of life and what kind of person you want to be, and then strive for that. Have a clear goal.
Cool. I like that. Mine is going to be to spend more time thinking and being aware. I think often it's not that people are out to be malicious or out to be hurtful, but they don't take the time to even think hey, not texting back this person, how might that make them feel? They're so wrapped up in their own experience, in their own life, that that awareness or thought just isn't there. I mean, it could apply to the dumb conversation we had earlier about our videos of okay, obviously we didn't announce these games, so don't be mad at us. Or, hey, this person, was having a bad day, so maybe don't retaliate. Or, you know what, I'm busy, but this person's texting me and I care about them and I want to make sure they know that they're cared about. So think and be aware and spend some time to just I don't know, take others into account. It's pretty easy, but it's pretty often forgotten. Please don't forget Gabe. He's going to be in a box, so I'll try not to forget you, Gabe.
All right.
I'll try my best.
Please.
And we'll see you next week. Until that time, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great one. DKC Tropical Freeze is out. We're on to waiting for Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, which probably will hit with less of a bang than even DKC TF, but E3 is 5 weeks away, so the good stuff is going to roll in like an armadillo on fire. With that awkward analogy, thanks so much for watching. For myself and Gabe, Switch Force